Elise. She is an author, psychic, and media personality, and has been listed as one of the top 100 psychics in America. Empowerment psychic Halley Elise shares the spiritual, metaphysical, holistic, and magical powers of the universe. Follow Halley on her website at HalleyElise.com, and all her shows can be seen via live stream video. Now, here's your host, Empowerment psychic Halley Elise.
You're right. It's going to be one of those evenings. I'll repeat that. Good evening, everyone. Have you ever had one of those days? If you are just tuning in, so am I. I literally didn't get moving till about 3 p.m. this afternoon, so it's just been one of those days. It seems this time of year, every year, I don't know even how to explain it other than to say there is a shift in energies for me personally, internally. Part of it, I think, has to do with Yom Kippur, and it's not because I start to get into a place of, oh my gosh, I have to repent or anything like that. I think it's more a matter of connecting with the mass consciousness that's taking place with a large collective of people. So all that being said, I'm somewhat hypersensitive, and things happen during this time of the year that throw me asunder that normally would not. And I'm going to share a little something before we start taking calls this evening. I had a gentleman come in, new client, who sat in, and during the session I kept feeling like something's not right here. It doesn't feel like it's flowing. There's something off. I can't really identify what, but it just doesn't feel right. Anyways, I did the best that I could to deliver the information that came through. And I've gotten very good over the years at just literally letting it move through, in and out, meaning not being attached to what is said, not trying to censor. And when he left, I thought to myself, something doesn't feel right. Well, that was, I would say, second week of August, perhaps. And from that point on, I kept feeling a little off, and I couldn't put my finger on it, right? So for whatever reason, I had the impetus to take a look at my ratings on Yelp last night, and I realized there's the gentleman, and he put a review, and he started out with, I've always been skeptical. And then he proceeded to say how I delivered wrong information. Now, what's kind of amusing about this is some of the information is a portent of what is to come. So how do you know it's inaccurate if you've not gotten there yet? That, and I want to share this before we get on the line with anybody this evening to do psychic readings, because we have this propensity to make assumptions about things. We all do it. I don't care what walk of life you're from, we all do it. You look at somebody in a store, and if they're dressed sloppy, let's say you're a salesperson in a haberdashery and you sell men's suits, and somebody walks in and they're wearing, I don't know, flip-flops and a ripped up t-shirt and blue jean shorts. You as a salesperson may not even walk over to that individual assuming that, who are they? They are not doing anything. They don't have any money. Why bother? So again, we all make assumptions, and we all project our feelings on other people. And it takes a lot of work individually and collectively to shift that. And we all go in and out. Some of us do better than others. The point that I'm trying to make is this gentleman who came to me, before he even walked in the door, he had a predisposition that it's all fake and it's for entertainment purposes only. That's actually how he concluded his rating or his review. And I took it very personally, because for me, when somebody comes into the office, yes, of course I want to make money. This is how I make my money. This is a part of my livelihood. I assist people in giving them information that's going to help them with their future. I also assist them at getting real focus in their life. I mean, the idea of the, if you will, title empowerment psychic really comes from my desire to want to empower other people as I'm delivering information. So that being said, having somebody write something that lends itself to, well, yeah, it was just for fun. Just for fun is okay, but it got me because I felt, wow, that's not how I want anybody to feel about my exchange with them. I want them to walk away feeling good. I want them to walk away feeling as if they gotten something. So I'm telling all of you this before I even share that with him. I'm going to reach out to the gentleman and share this with him. But the reason that I bring this up, as I said, is we all have judgments. We all have assumptions. For instance, if somebody says, and Lynn, if you're listening, you'll know exactly where I'm going here. If somebody says to you, you're going to India, and you think that means going to the land of India, and you automatically say, absolutely not. I want nothing to do with India. I never want to be there. No, 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 no. And then you're sitting with somebody at lunch and you start telling them about how, that psychic lady told you that you were going to India. And she laughs and looks across the street and says, you work over there, right? And you say, well, yeah, why? What's the name of the shop? India, something India. Hello, you're in India. My point, you can't make assumptions about readings. Sometimes they are so literal that it's amazing, truly amazing. And other times they show up in metaphor form, or they show up in ways that we unexpect. Like you can say, oh, is that perfect man going to come into my life? And you have this visual in your mind's eye of what that looks like. And somebody comes into your life who you think, wow, there's a connection. They're really nice, but it's not what I envisioned. Do you let it go? Or do you allow yourself to be in that moment and experience it? What I'm going to suggest this evening, if you're listening in, if you're calling in for a reading, is that you just listen, just allow. And even if it seems a little peculiar or off or not what you expected, allow. See what happens. Because I often get phone calls after the fact from people saying, I really thought you were full of baloney. I'm calling to apologize. Or I get, well, I thought it was going to be, but it turned out as. So again, just allow. Anyways, Kenny, you said we have somebody on the phone. I think it was Betty, if I read through the glass correctly. You want to put her on? Thank you. Hello.
Yes, hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
So did you have a question this evening?
Well, actually, I don't have a question since I always seem to ask the wrong question. So maybe you could just tell me what you see or what you think or,
Okay. Is this the lovely Betty that I know?
Yes.
It is, because I was going to say the voice sounds familiar. It's nice to hear you. Okay, so let me focus for a moment. You may laugh, but the first thing that comes up has to do with your grandchild and some sort of changes going on there as far as an emotional level. And the overall impression is not to take too many things to heart, as if something is said. The best way that I can explain this is to say sometimes children will say things because they're mad, not because they mean it. So I'm going to just say, keep that in your mind for the next 6 to 8 months here with any sort of communication with grandchild, because I just get something being slightly askew, and it could be coming directly from his mom, not from him, but something having to do with the child. So do not take anything personally. Understand it's just about the moment. Okay, that's the first thing. Right. The second thing that comes in here is, if you want to have romance, you have to actually be open to it. And what that simply means is you can think in terms of, oh, I'm not going to have that anymore. I'm done with that. But you really actually want it. Don't even put those words out there as far as I'm done with it, or maybe, or just say, you know what? If the right time comes, I'm going to be open for it, because I get somebody right around the corner for you. There's a sense here that August, well, it's a little later than right around the corner. I guess it's next year. But by August, I get there being somebody in your life full-time that you are really considering spending the rest of your life with. Is that a surprise? So just kind of take that under your hat, okay? Did I lose you, Betty? I think we lost her. Oh, well, so sorry. Hopefully she heard the information. Somebody else is calling in. I hear the phone ringing. I'm going to see if I can look in the monitor and catch, let's see, the paper that goes up with the person's name and then read it backwards. Otherwise, you see me looking over my shoulder. We actually have a board in the room where I can push a button. It's just not operational, so I get to do it the old-fashioned way. Let's see. Yes, no, yes, and okay, thank you. It's Catalina. Hi, Catalina. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Good. What can I do for you this evening?
Well, let me see. I have a trip coming up,
okay,
and I want to see what you see there.
Okay, well, New York, Big Apple. The first thing that comes up is there's going to be a gal that you meet when you're on this trip that you really have a great connection with. I feel like it's somebody that I'll say the relationship will take you beyond this conference or convention that you're going to, but somebody that there's going to be a nice symbiosis with. So that's going to be a plus. As far as the weather, I'm going to say take some extra things that you didn't think. So if you're anticipating warm weather, take some cool garments and vice versa. I just feel like the weather's going to be slightly askew versus what you're expecting.
Okay.
Okay.
That's really good because I was planning to pack very little.
Okay.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Well, I want to say be prepared. I just get something funky happening. Normally you could say by this time of the year, there's certain types of weather, but I just get something being slightly off. So better that you're prepared with 1 or 2 extra garments than saying, uh-oh, when you get there. I mean, you could always go to a store.
Shop in New York,
yeah, exactly. You could always go to a store. It's the best place to be. By the way, if you're there, no, I'm just kidding. I'm due for a trip. I really am. But the biggest thing that I get is a connection that has some longevity to it. And as I said, has some symbiosis. So that's going to be really nice for you. Yes.
Very exciting.
All righty.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
Okay. We have another gal, I think. Oh, Betty called back. Thank you. Hello. We lost you there.
Yeah, I got disconnected, yeah.
Okay, so what all did you catch or what did you miss?
That you see that by next August there will be something, permanent coming on.
Okay, yes, by next August, I get you being in long-term, what I would construe as a permanent relationship. So, and don't focus on what was, focus on what is to come, literally, because what I feel like the essence of what's to come is going to be so much better than what you can imagine.
Right.
And it's time. It is. It's time for you.
I'm starting to think that way, yeah.
That's why I said, those old thoughts of, oh, well, it's not, maybe, blah, blah, blah. Take that out of your vocabulary.
I know. Yeah, I'm starting to, yeah.
Good.
I've heard you say it enough times, yeah, so.
Good. Well, it's just around the corner here. I mean, relatively speaking, I know that August next year is not next month, but it's close enough that you can do the happy dance.
Right.
Thank you so much for calling, Betty.
All right. Thank you, Halley.
Take good care.
Okay. All right.
Bye-bye. Okay, so if you didn't see the number, it's 888-565-1470. That's 888-565-1470. And the third Monday of the month, as best as I can manage, I do psychic readings. And the reason that I phrased it that way is because sometimes there's a guest that I want to get on the air, but they can't make it any other time but the third Monday of the month, so they'll have them on. I do want to share that I've been contemplating making some changes in February when I do the Renaissance Festival. And I met a lady recently who is going to be on the air. I'm going to have her on, who is amazing. And I believe I may have her helping me at the festival. So her name I'm going to mention is Helen. So just kind of keep it in the back of your head so that you know when you hear that Helen is going to be on the air with me, that you tune in and watch the program. She's very unique and very gifted as far as psychically in truly a plethora of ways, because she, like I, started doing, we'll say, funny things as a child, but didn't really have a full cognizance of it till she was older. And I spent the day with her yesterday. We had some amazing exchanges of stories. She's a little bit older, so she has a bit more wisdom, and she looks young, though, which is a good thing, too. Anyways, remember the name Helen. I won't tell you anything else about her other than she's someone who I will have on, and I am contemplating having her at the festival in February. So we may have some new people to come in and play with and interact with. I do want to give some information in respect to the gallery. October's gallery, Psychic Gallery, which you know is the first Monday of the month. I have a special guest, my lovely friend, Joseph Labruto III, who is the psychic medium in Florida. He is very well known around the U.S., and he's going to be joining me and sharing a little bit with you folks. So it's going to be an extra special gallery. He will also be on the show in October, meeting here on the Halley Elise show. So you'll get a glimpse of Joseph's life and how it's moved into a slightly different direction and to be able to interact. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to say, though, if you would like to join us for the October gallery, please do get online, get your tickets early because you get the discount, but also I don't know that I will have enough seats for everyone if you wait till the last minute. So typically I say, when you get there, you get there. With this particular night, you may want to take care of it in advance. And again, it's the first Monday of the month in October. I should know that date. I apologize. I don't unless I look at the calendar. By now, you folks must know I have no concept of time. And I'm thinking my producer's probably in the other room shaking his head. I tend to get lost in time. If I say I'll be back in an hour, it could be 3, 4, 5 hours. And it's like, oh, look, the time flew. If I get engaged in something, same thing. But it's not, if you will, lack of respect or because I'm trying to be ignorant of a situation. I just really get fully engrossed in whatever it is I'm doing. So it's funny with the calendar because, and I've said this before on the air, time is a man-made construct. It really is. And doesn't always work for me. It's more a matter of a feeling. Is the sunshine coming through the window or is the cat waking me up? I know it's morning. Evening, are the crickets making sound? I would do really good out in the woods, really. Anyways, this is a great time to call in. There is no fee. You can, if you want to remain anonymous and just give a different name or say you don't want to give your name, that's okay. I'm going to give the number again. It's 888-565-1470. And that's so that you can call in and ask a psychic question. If you say, well, I don't really have a question. I want to see what you pick up on. I can do that for you as well. So feel free to give a buzz. And then you'll see me cocking my head funny to, take a look over at the paper and seeing who's on the phone. Can't wait till we get that little buzzer fixed so that we can take care of it. All right, then. So this is an interesting time of the year. Here we are in South Florida, and it is still brutally hot, even though it's considered the fall everywhere else. I'm so looking forward to going up north next month. You have no idea. I have a special occasion to be there, and it's going to be such a pleasure. There's a word in Hebrew, mechaya, which means miracle. I have to tell you, when you're dealing with temperatures that range anywhere from 80 to 102, and then you go somewhere and it's 70, that's a mechaya. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyways, it has nothing to do with psychic stuff, just sharing. All right, then. So what I want to make sure that I remind all of you is that when there is the desire to build upon your own abilities, the first thing you really have to do is stop thinking. Now, I know that sounds like an odd statement, but we as a society tend to overthink. And then when we have these wonderful, intuitive, abstract, right hemisphere brain thoughts, images, feelings, sensations that come in, we try to analyze them. So if you're finding that something uncommon comes to you, go with it. Don't sit there and analyze. As I said before, just allow. When I was talking about judgments, instead of making a judgment, just kind of allow, just kind of go with that flow, because you will inevitably see so much more. And the same thing is true with your psychic ability. If you say, oh, well, I don't really have psychic ability, but as a kid, I used to get these funny feelings in my stomach right before something good would happen. Well, that's a psychic ability. There are terminologies for all the different types of ways that we can listen in. Just kind of know that you're not only listening in with your consciousness, you're not only using your mind, you're using your body. Sometimes somebody will say, my left thumb hurts every time I know so-and-so is coming over. Or got a funny little pain in my heart when something sad is about to happen. Your body is an instrument to allow psychic information also. It is not just the consciousness, like I said, not just the mind. And understand too, there are things like clairgustance, which has to do with taste. So for instance, if you taste we'll say honeysuckle. Every time a great aunt is coming to visit, there's a sweetness there, and you actually taste it upon your lips. You may start to pay attention to when else do you taste that, because it's your body's way of saying, I'm giving you something to literally chew on or taste to understand what's coming. The same thing is true with the olfactory system. You may walk into a space and it's void of any scent other than, well, let's use a restaurant as a good example. And we'll say that the place is permeated with smells of steak and potatoes and vegetables and butter and all of those types of things. And yet, throughout the space, all you keep smelling is roses. Listen to your nose. When else do you smell roses? When do you enjoy the scent of roses? Your nose is literally giving you a message. It is not always an image. It is not always a sound. It is not always a dream. It is not always clairsentience where you just have that knowing. Sometimes it shows up in the body. So if you want to develop your own skill set, whether it's just for your own amusement or because you feel that you really need it, start paying attention. And it's body, mind, spirit. There's a reason that is said. The other thing, and you've heard me say this probably a million times over the past several years, meditate, do breath work, get into that quiet space, get centered. And for those of you who say, oh, it sounds good, but I just cannot meditate. It is not my thing. I sit down for a couple of minutes and then my mind goes, and I can't do it. Okay. Remember what I said about allowing? Allow. Say, that way doesn't work for me. I'm going to just allow it. And instead, do something else that you know allows your mind to shift consciousness. So for instance, if you're one of those people that when you're cooking, you got lost in the experience, you start at, let's say, 6 p.m. and before you know it, 7:30, you're actually shifting consciousness in that moment. You're in that altered state. Some people do it when they're washing dishes. They just enjoy the moment so much and they're not a part of anything else going on. They are literally just present in that moment, which means you have the ability to slow down what's taking place with the hertz, the frequency within your mind, and you are more receptive then to receiving information. And whether it comes in, again, through an image or another way, pay attention. I thank you all for tuning in this evening. I hope you found that information helpful. And look forward to next week. I've got a special guest joining us. Good night, everyone.
Be enchanted and delighted. Connect each week here on WNN for the Halley Elise Show. Also on Facebook and at HalleyElise.com. Thanks for tuning in. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly